but I remember.
What's up, people? How you doing? How you doing? What's going on? My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. Looks like we're all good to go in the settings. Our vocals are loud. We need it loud. We need the vocals loud because we need to be loud today. How you feeling, my people? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and everybody that's tuning in, man. We want to get some updates to the Trump situation, man, the near assassination of former President Donald Trump. I'm going to chop that up, but I want to first say the reason why we're doing this, because we got a show at 9:30, is that I did earlier coverage yesterday, live stream, live during the event, because I don't take days off. And now that information's a little old, and people are going to it, and they're going, hey, man, you don't know what's going on. Your information's not accurate. Well, you know, they're not looking at the date on the video. So no problem. Once you do a video on an important event like this, you got to get back out there and do more content to keep it fresh and updated, because you don't want to mislead people with bad information, old information, because YouTube won't take it down. So that's the deal. So that's why we're doing this show now. We're still going to do our show tonight at 9:30, but we got to jump in now. So everybody, I want to first say, before I give you updates specifically on different topics, I got some order to this discussion for us. I want to first say the title of this live stream. I picked that title for a very important reason, Johnson. We good? What's up, Jay? How you doing, fam? Welcome back, Jay. We had a glitch, Jay. I fixed it. I said I blame the corporate lying, deceitful, disgusting, what's that? What other words did I use here? Deceitful, greedy corporate media for this. I don't blame individual Democratic voters for this. I don't blame individual Republican voters for this. I blame, when I say this, I mean the shooting, the near assassination of Donald Trump. Okay? I blame the lying corporate deceitful media for this. Not viewers. Okay, so that's first thing. And let's be very clear about that, because I don't know, man. Some people need help. They need to be told that explicitly. I can't really be worried about people that say, okay, since you said that, you support Trump. Hey, nothing I can do about that. That's how bad our media is. If you say what you feel about a subject and it does not line up with the Democratic Party, you are considered a Republican. If you voice your opinion and it doesn't line up with the Republican Party, you're considered a Democrat. You could, until I am literally blue in the face, would be really hard to do, considering the complexion. They still won't believe me, so forget it. But for my smart people, the people that think, the people that understand the power of media, the propaganda, that they get it, that they understand that words can hurt you. And lies break up families and break up churches and break up societies and break up the lies told over and over and over again. Exaggerations can be harmful. Hyperbole, big extraordinary stories and fantasies and goofy stuff. And then this heinous, mean, spirited garbage can also be very damaging, because some people, they believe it. So that's the problem with our media, and that's the problem. So I blame that. I blame the shooter. Don't get it twisted. I blame the shooter, but foremost, I blame the media bias that's been fanning this for the last 7-8 years. So let me give you some updates about the story. Then we're going to get into some commentary. But before you leave, I want you to know these points, right? So the shooter's identity, we got to that yesterday, but let's get further. They identified the gunman in Saturday's attack as a 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. Not only was he a white man, he's a white man with 3 white names. Shout out to whoever sent me that. He was killed by Secret Service agents at the scene after the shooting. The FBI is investigating the attack as an assassination attempt. The 20-year-old who was bam-bammed by U.S. security, Secret Service, was a registered Republican according to voter status records. He was a registered Republican, and shout out to my friend who sent me that on DM. My friend from DM did not include the fact that he also donated to a Democratic, that Crooks donated to a Democratic political action committee called Act Blue. So he registered as a Republican, but he sent money to Act Blue. Therefore, it's even Steven. You know, if you're going to send me stuff to help me, send it fair. Not just to help your side, my brother. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know that this 20-year-old, actually a 20-year-old, dug in his pocket and gave money to a Democratic organization to help their politicians. That's kind of something. He may vote registered Republican because his parents was looking over his back. He's like, put the R down, just like you, Dad. Can I still live here? Because he lived with his parents. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Who knows? Toss up. Whatever you want to believe, believe it. He was a good kid, apparently. $500 prize for math and science, a good student, it looks like. No criminal record whatsoever, not a single solitary scratch on his record. I did see an interview where they said that he was bullied. He was bullied as a student. One of the kids who was talking was like, yeah, he was bullied almost every day. And I was sitting there thinking, well, what did you do to stop it? The answer would be nothing. Absolutely nothing. He didn't even sound like he wanted to pretend like he would have helped this guy out by stopping it. But I also was thinking, I'm so tired of hearing about people getting bullied. That's the reason why they shoot up places. We used to get bullied. But anyway, okay. Everyone's different, Tim. Some people can take bullying, some people can't. Okay, fair enough. What else about Crooks? Anything else about Crooks? Oh, he had weapons. He had an AR-15. That's what he used as his weapon to attempt the assassination of Donald Trump. He also had explosives in his car and at his home. Right. Details about the shooting that we know that are different. Appears to come from outside the area secured by the Secret Service. So he was not inside the event. He was adjacent to the event, but obviously he was in sight because he shot at the event. He shot at Trump. He hit Trump. And we'll get to some of the other stuff that happened as well. In the hours after the shooting, explosive material was found in the gunman's vehicle and at his home. According to a person familiar with the investigation, spoken in condition of anonymity to discuss it, it was not immediately clear if the material was part of a functional explosive device. Once again, the weapon is believed to be an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle. Let's talk about the victims. Have some respect. Firefighter Corey Comparator was killed during the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Comparator was one of the thousands of people who attended the rally in Butler, part of Trump's 2024 re-election effort. He died protecting his family. According to the governor, Corey dove on top of his family to shield them. The other victims, 2 others are badly hurt. So that's sort of the official record that we have so far. They still don't have a motive. No manifesto letters that I'm aware of. As I went live, I didn't see that out there. And there's nothing else that they've released that I'm aware of. And it is Sunday at 4:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That could change at 5:22 or 5:52 at 6:30. And this is as updated as I can get. with the info. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going? So now we get to the funner part. Did I say condolences to that young man, to that brother, that firefighter who lost his life protecting his family? My condolences to his family. And this should not have happened. And it's also know that Thomas Matthew Crooks, he lived 53 miles away from where this took place, where he performed this assassination attempt. So he drove a little distance. He had time to think about this. All right, so there it is. Can we get to the media bias part? Because that's the part I want to get into, man. Folks, what I'm trying to tell you is that we got a media bias problem. And if you don't understand that we got a media bias problem, you're further proving we got a media bias problem because you don't believe nor know how bad it is. And you're just consuming media content going, this seems right. This seems fair. This makes sense. I'm with the good guys. Not knowing that these corporations are horrible. The corporate greed. Folks, I don't know why people believe in corporations, particularly huge conglomerates. I have no idea why they respect them. And as much as I go in, and I'm going to go in on some individuals, notice, guys, those individuals are merely spokes in the chain. They're just the spokes in the tire, fam. Once they get rid of these loudmouth liars, once they get rid of their propagandists, once they get rid of the robots who repeat the words in the way they want them to repeat them, or fire them, remember that, these people do not own their own platforms. If those people change their minds and stop doing it, they just go get somebody else who was willing to do the same thing. So as bad as we feel, as much as I'm going in on the individuals that are doing this, remember, the MSNBCs, the CBSs, the ABCs, the CNNs, the Fox Newses, or whoever, that those are the truest, like, culprits in this. Because it's not a damn thing that goes out on ABC or CBS or CNN or MSNBC that's not condoned by that organization, or they would shut it down. So that's who the really bad guy is here. And of course, you know, Thomas Matthew Crooks as well, because he did the thing. You do the thing, obviously you are responsible for doing that. I didn't see anything about him being escaped out of an institution this morning or yesterday morning. So as far as I know, he was a functional adult who made a big time decision. Joe Biden put out a statement. I do have a clip for that. Joe Biden put out a statement. Let's go to Joe Biden and see what he had to say. He is the president of the United States, whether you like it or not. That's the deal. So come on, Jack. Let's check it out.
Good afternoon. Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering. And we had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired. And he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence, or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree, That's not going to change, but we're going to not lose sight, in fact, who we are as Americans. Look, Vice President Harris and I were just briefed in the Situation Room by my Homeland Security team, including the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Director of the Secret Service, my Homeland Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor, and we're going to continue to be briefed. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is. I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job. I'm instructed that this investigation be thorough and swift, and the investigators will have every resource they need to get this done. Look, as this investigation continues, here's what we're going to do. First, Mr. Trump, as a former president and nominee of the Republican Party, already receives a heightened level of security. And I've been consistent in my direction to the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which is scheduled to start tomorrow. And third, I've directed an independent review of the national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened. And we'll share the results of that independent review with the American people as well. And finally, I'll be speaking more about this tonight at greater length from the Oval Office. We must unite as one nation. We must unite as one nation to demonstrate who we are. And so may God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you very much.
Good. Don't answer any questions. Get out. If you say something stupid. All right. Couple things about what he just said here that I think, yeah, let's get to that. He said that violence had no place in America. He must not live in America. America has been at war and been at war, not just war outside its borders, but been at war against its own citizens. By the form of state violence for so long, it's been doing that since the inception of the damn country. What are you talking about? But I guess that's the type of nonsense you got to say when you're president. You got to pretend that America's something that it's not. And yes, we know this. Not all of us are delusional. Contrary to what we stand for, what do we stand for, Joe Biden? You trying to slide and glide your way into another, I don't know, shot at the bite at the apple? Like, what are we really doing? Can you do a little soul searching? You dropping out or what? Yeah, are you dropping out? This is ridiculous. Jesus Christ. He said, this is not American. He said that like 3 different ways. This is not American. This is actually American, very American. Happened to Ronald Reagan. It happened to other presidents. Abraham Lincoln comes to mind. Was it Eisenhower? There's a number of presidents who've been shot, some killed. What are you talking about? This is not American. What's not American is having a media that doesn't do this shit. It's very American to have a corrupt, biased media to fans the flames in order to make money. And they went too far. They've been going too far for a very long time. But to say the violence is un-American is crazy, considering we own more guns than people. And we know how to use them, too. Well, some of us know how to use them. Some of us should not own a gun, should not even look at a picture of a gun. And this is the richest part. Well, how are you going to say you don't know the motive of the shooter? We know the motive of the shooter. When you point a gun at someone and you shoot it, what's your motive? Does that people that really think he was just trying to have a conversation with the former president? Is that what he was trying to do? Just get his attention? Nah, I know what activists do. I mean, I covered an activist who went to a Kamala Harris event, and he went up on stage. He was there to support animals and stop the the slaughter of animals, and he was a human rights, an animal rights activist. That was the motive. And it was a direct action, and that's what they did. They weren't armed. They just walked up and wanted to talk to her about the animals and say, hey, we are killing these animals and treating them the way that we treat the animals was like, and they voiced their opinion. The woman that took the podium from Bernie Sanders famously back in 2016, they weren't armed and they weren't violent. They were voicing their opinions. So their motives were clear, and so was this. This motive was what these actions caused, which was death. This is something very crystal clear. When somebody shoots at you, they mean business. But of course, see, and this is why we can't have, look, this is why people like Trump, okay? Which we don't get because you've been fed a steady diet of Trump is Lucifer. You've been fed a steady diet of that. Trump doesn't say stupid crap like this. He says things that are untrue a lot. He exaggerates. Then he starts making jokes, which are often funny. But he would never say this is what of the motive of the shooter. He'd say, this guy was bad. He did a bad thing. He was trying to destroy me. He was trying to take away. Like, he would say that. He would not be like, the motive, we don't understand the motive, and this is un-American, and all this other garbage. Don't you get this? Some of this stuff is just like personality, demonstration, delivery, like some of the differences here that are Joe Biden's unappealing in his demeanor and his delivery. Nothing real. We just had a president. This is going to be, when we're all gone, if they're still in America, they will be talking about this for the next 100. This will be in the books, man. And this guy's talking like, well, we're just Americans, and I don't know what he was trying to do. The same thing John Wilkes Booth was trying to do. The same thing. The same thing John Hinckley Jr. was trying to do. Take out a president. I don't know what he was trying to do. We don't know the motive. We shouldn't speculate. All of Biden's advisors also nearly 100. Like, real talk, man. Is everybody in Biden's ear also extremely elderly? What is it? What's wrong with this guy? Who's advising this guy? And don't talk to me about security when you won't give security to the other people that are running in this race. There is no reason why RFK Jr. doesn't have security. There is no reason at all. His dad and his uncle have been murdered in politics. And you don't think a Looney Tunes person would try to do that to him? Yes, they would. And you won't allow him to have security because you don't give a damn about his life, his family. And while we're on the topic, what about Dr. Cornel West and Dr. Jill Stein? What about them? If they're not a part of the Democratic machinery or the Republican machinery, we can't care about their lives or their safety. America has the money. America has the money, guys, that we can make sure that people that are running for office, considering the violence of America, the reality of how violent America is, not make-believe world, and make-believe world. Let's pretend America's so great and nothing happens, when we all know that's the opposite, right, of really what's going on in America. They just shot Fulio like 20 times. What about, every time we turn around, someone's getting shot in America? There were, at 4th of July, it was like 20 people got shot or 50 people. I don't know how many people it was. I don't know. We need not have violence. This is why we have violence. Just silly. He said he's going to have an independent review done of how this happened. Great. Because I'd like an independent review of it. Because I'm not going to, there are people saying things like, they believe this didn't happen. They think Trump faked it. They think he doesn't really have a hole in his ear. They think because he didn't get taken out, nothing's real. And I understand the attraction to want to get viewership. I get it, man. I'm not just doing this live stream because it's fun. I'm doing it because I have an obligation and I want to spread the word about what I do. And I think I have something to say. But God, Johnson, just to repeat bogus talking points without any evidence whatsoever, there are people that actually are putting out right now that they believe that Donald Trump did this to get sympathy. That's how bad the propagandists worked on them about Donald Trump. That he would stand in front of a guy. Either they don't believe that was a real gun, they don't believe that the people that were shot were really shot. You think they're home eating Rice Krispies? Home eating Hot Pockets or taquitos? That's what they think. This is a bogus. That's the same stuff that got Alex Jones in trouble. That you said was a horrible person. So Alex Jones said that, and then what? He loses everything, or is on the verge of losing every single thing. But you're saying it in front of cameras because it's Trump and you can get away with it because no one will sue you, right? They think that Donald Trump got shot at for fun. That he took a chance, a guy 200 meters, whatever, how far away he was. It looked far to me. He's outside the actual DMZ, but he was close enough to take a shot. So, but you think the bullet sound should have been louder? What are you? You're a technical wizard of how AR-15 should sound from a distance over the sound of a crowd. And all these things come into play, Goofy. Now, Donald Trump was shot, and he's going to use this to his own advantage. Hell, man. This is, at least it happened to him. I had to sit through election after election, particularly like, for instance, I had to sit through election back in 2016 as Hillary Clinton used the death of black kids as her way to get sympathy. She actually used the death. She took black moms with her on a tour who had lost their children and a black widow on tour to somehow make them a part of her campaign. At least this actually happened to Trump. Like, he's not fabricating someone else's pain. Not saying he hasn't done so in the past. Not saying he hasn't used others as a utility to reach his own goals. They all kind of do that, which is disgusting, right? It's disgusting. But at least this happened to him. Look, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. I said it yesterday. We will repeat this for those who didn't see it. Donald Trump will be reelected. He will win the reelection. If I was Joe Biden, you know what I would do? I quit. I quit right now, man. I give it all up right now. Why do you want to be the person that's going to get this L? You know how embarrassing it's going to be stomped by Trump? He's going to knock the stuffing out of that old guy. Like, Biden, quit now. Run for your life. Save what's left of your reputation. Go sit on the porch and eat ice cream. Let Kamala take the L for you. Because the level of support that Trump is about to experience is going to be nothing we've ever seen before. Nothing. Nothing. And remember, like I believe George Bush took us to war in Iraq just so he could win re-election, because very seldom do we change administrations through war. Now, if Biden tries that, I don't even think that would be enough for him. That's how big this is. Okay? So presidents, when they run for these re-elections, man, they'll do anything, I believe, anything in order to garner support, anything to shore up the base. But to stand as far away as Trump was and have bullets whizzing past your head, and you think that was a setup, a ploy? Trump was already winning, Goofy. Now, the other side of it are those people saying they think Joe Biden and the president, the feds and the CIA had something to do with this. And what's up with the Secret Service? Where was the protection? I tend to think that's a better route to go than some guy standing there like a Trump who does not strike me to be the bravest soul, like to just stand there and let someone shoot at their head. This is not the 1500s, the 1200s or something, and he's got an apple on his head or something. There's a Mark Smith taking a shot at the apple. Stand still. Want to show my prowess. I'm going to shoot the apple. Nah, this ain't that, man. This guy was far away, dude. It looks like the first shot, he meant that when he had time to set up. But the other ones were fired under duress from the sniper or the Secret Service that was shooting at him. That's why those shots were like all over the place. So, I feel that Donald Trump, this helped Trump. This did not hurt Trump. And that's why a lot of the Democrats are really running around looking crazy right now, because they know what I'm saying is true. They don't like me saying it. They get mad, they're getting triggered, which is good. Get mad, get triggered. I don't care. It's very helpful for you to get so triggered. But this is earned. A life was almost, he almost lost his life. You damn well is going to talk about it. It happened in front of the world. It's going to be replayed and discussed and digested and rehashed and discussed and it's going to, this will be forever discussed in U.S. history. This goes down in world history. This is all over the globe. And you think it's phony? Jesus Christ, man. My thing is, considering the history of the United States, I'm wondering if it was something that was a plot and plan that was executed against Trump to try to stop him, because it does look like he's going to win a re-election. That's the smart money. That's the obvious play right here, man. I don't see how you could come at it the other way. This guy just risked his whole life in a race he's already winning. He didn't want to take chances of losing. Man, they got Biden, people been at Biden to drop out. It's this, what are you talking about? So anyway, I blame the media. I blame the media. I have to blame the media because I happen to know that the media is biased in its reporting. Okay, so we got a Pew Research 2022. Americans blame unfair news coverage on media outlets. Yes, the media outlets are the problem for the most part. Overall, about 8 in 10 Americans say news organizations favor one side when presenting the news on political and social issues. 8 out of 10. So most of the people that are watching realize we're in a very highly divided, highly corporate-driven, pick one side and make some money, ball of the game. This is why this channel, which has been for the most part going at both sides of the issue, isn't doing as well as other channels that go after one side or the other. That's just the game, Johnson. Going in one side keeps you from upsetting the other side and splitting your audience. Okay? So that's what they've been doing, and this is from the Pew Research 2022. Only 20% of Americans believed at that time that these organizations deal fairly with the news. 20% of Americans. So a Gallup survey in 2023 says media confidence in the U.S. is at a record low. Only 32% of Americans say they trust mass media. Only 3 out of 10 Americans trust the media, mass media. 3. You put 10 people in a room, only 3 of them are going, hey, well, the news guy said it, so. And all of them seem like they watch MSNBC. Oh, and Fox. I don't think anybody trusts CNN, really. The most trusted source of news. Nah, not so much. 29% have not very much trust. And 41% said they had not very much trust. So, yeah, 4 in 10 Americans completely lack confidence in the media. Completely. 4 out of 10. No confidence at all. Cut that off. Give me reruns of The Price is Right. That's what people are saying. They rather watch The Price is Right. Give me something else. Any Gunsmoke replays or. Rasmussen report in 2023 says it showed the majority of voters say media bias It's getting worse. Not better, Johnson. Worse. According to the survey, 58% of voters felt the issue of bias in the news is getting worse. Only 13% of voters believe the problem is getting better. 13%. That's if you had 10 people in the room, one of them would be like, I think we're doing a better job. And that person's obviously drunk. So that's what the media bias is, man, and that's what I'm saying. I blame media bias. And I got a couple culprits I want to point out that are specifically, don't hide your head now, don't hide your hand now. These culprits who have been spewing this stuff unfettered. I want to point out the ladies at The View. Yes, that horrible show of horrible, complicit propaganda. They got blood on their hands, Johnson, big time, okay? Whoever scripts them, whoever writes, I don't just want Whoopi and Sonny and Anna, those other two who weeble wobble, just whatever, they just kind of float. Making a lot of money just floating around. Supposed to be Republican, but never really supporting Republican stuff, but kind of like, yeah, you got a good point, Anna. You got a good point, Whoopi. I'm scared of you, Whoopi. You're black. I don't know. Well, look, I blame The View for this. I think The View has look, I'm not saying that Thomas Matthew Crooks sat around going, what's Whoopi think? But it feeds that, you know what I'm saying? It feeds. It festers, it grows the lies, the attacks. Look, it's one thing to say you don't like Trump. We say it all the time, but you don't like his policies. They don't want to have a policy conversation because 8 times out of 10, Trump policies are pretty much lined up with Biden policies. It's the other like 20% that people lose their minds over. Because like 8 out of 10 of the policies, Biden like, what's wrong? It's just the wording. It's just the twang he puts on it you don't like. Right now, as much as the Democrats complained about Trump's border policy, that's what Biden is adopting. That's what he's adopting. He's adopting the same policy. After running on and demonizing Trump for his border policy, here goes Biden doing the exact same thing, implementing Trump's border policy. And now he's mad because Trump told Republicans not to let him implement his border policy. He wants to run on it. At least that's what the word on the street was, right? So what I'm saying is the major differences between Trump and Biden are not as big as people make them out to seem. So they have no choice but to play on the personal, to go after the personalities, to make this about, to demonize Trump in order to create this separation. I mean, we had Joe Biden at the debate saying, you cheated on your wife when she was pregnant. What is that got to do if he did that or not did that 20 years ago on a one-night stand with a porn star, which he denied? What that got to do with anything? What about you, Joe? What about you? What have you done, Joe? But see, that's what I'm saying. The corporate media, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, all these corporate medias, man, they are biased and they're tied in with the Democratic Party for access to the Democratic Party, which helps their books, helps their profits. This is what goes on. This is what happens, okay? And I blame the ladies at The View for being the worst culprit, at least on daytime TV. The worst culprit of this is The View, hands down. The type of rhetoric, the nonsense, the way they talk, the vilification. I mean, we got one of the lead people on The View who won't even say Trump's name, as if he is such a horrible, as if he is the Antichrist. As if he is, like, you know what I'm saying? We can't say his name. I refuse to say his name. Like he's running around eating babies. So what I'm saying is the over the top, the exasperated, the extraordinary lengths they go in order to demonize this guy has repercussions. It has repercussions. It affects people. And I believe I think I cannot draw a direct line. I have no proof. And I won't even suggest that Thomas Matthew Crooks, he's a killer. He killed people. He killed a person. He killed a man. Mr. Camarada, he killed the fireman who was protecting his family at that rally. And he gravely injured 2 others, and he also injured Donald Trump, former president. So I'm not saying that this person sits around waiting to see what Sonny Hostin has to say, okay? But they add to that. They have an outsized piece of that. They're an outsized voice. They're one of the loudest voices in the Trump is evil, Trump must be destroyed category. You understand what I'm saying? And they'll say things like, you reap what you sow, as if Biden hasn't sowed some shit. Okay? That's what I'm saying. There is no balance. No balance at all. And it's intentional. It is for the money. It is directed by ABC. It is strategic. And it is not to help people. It is not to inform you. It is not to make you more educated. It is to gaslight you, piss you off, tick you off, and further demonize Donald Trump in order for him to lose an election, in order to help their friends, the DNC. And we as Americans, we got to stand up to it. Because they do that with everything. It's not just about Trump. They demonize everything. Keep that in mind. Anything that helps us, that goes against the corporations, they're going to demonize it. It's not just Trump. What are they really championing that helps your life? Nothing. Zero. Are they up there defending the union rights? Are they doing segments about how we need to protect workers, expand the minimum wage, increase the minimum wage? Are they holding shows where they're demonizing the CEOs of these corporations, price gouging us? No. Okay, so they use their platforms that reach millions. People always say, Tim Black, why are you talking about The View? Because it's the most successful, longest running daytime show in American history. That's why. That a good enough reason? It's like LeBron James is playing and you're like, why are you guarding LeBron? Why check Steph Curry? Just let him shoot. I mean, come on, Goofy. Come on. Some people need help, man. You can't help everybody. So, yeah. So, yeah, guys. I blame The View. I think The View is definitely one of the entities that deserve criticism, the harshest criticism. And then I want to go to MSNBC because I believe that MSNBC is one of the most vile culprits, one of the most vile entities, one of the biggest spreaders of propaganda who go directly to this idea. They are just unchecked, perpetuating lie after lie after lie. Once again, it is great. It's ethical, and it is definitely part and parcel of being a commentator, being a journalist, being a reporter, to call out the facts. But when you do this, what Joy Ann Reid does, this, you got to hold her accountable for it.
Y'all just tell me who the nominee is going to be. Let me know when you guys are finished fighting amongst yourselves who I got to vote for in November to keep Hitler out the White House. That's all I want to know. Who I got.
When she said to keep Hitler out the White House, that's the type of rhetoric I'm talking about. So what she did is protected her tweets because she's a coward. Because she knows. She just recently said this, and that people are going to be coming at her for it. Maybe they already started coming at her for it. So she locked down her X channel, her X page, in the anticipation of a lot of incoming. Because it's not good for the spirit to hear people calling you what you are. A mouthpiece for the corrupt and over-the-top propagandists. That's exactly what you are, Joy Ann Reid. And we are tired of it. We are so fed up with it. Another thing, does she use her platform to talk about the corrupt corporations who have been price gouging all of America since the COVID lockdowns? Has she used her platform to go in and demonize them? Why not demonize Tyson Foods for having illegal workers and firing working Americans? How about demonize them? Because that ain't good for corporate profits. How about going in on the state prisons, the private prisons, the corporate prisons? How does she use her platform to demonize these corporations that own these prisons? Huh? They got to keep the beds full, and all the politicians that are making money from that. Does she use her platform, her personal platform, and her MSNBC platform to go after that? See, we got to start thinking when they're going after this guy, one guy, Trump, as if he is the guy that created all the evil things that existed way before Trump, by the way. Like, the world wasn't all sunny and shiny, and people were skipping and holding hands of all colors and creeds and orientations and all that good stuff in class or whatever, walking around just hugging each other, sending each other love notes. I love you. I love you, black person. I love you, white person. What about you, Asian? Oh, I love you all. What about you, Native American person? I love us. I love us so much. Let's all just get along totally. Latino person, what do you think? I'm Hispanic, but I love everyone too. We all love each other. Was that what was going on? Or were people in their silos, mostly segregated from each other, with the rhetoric being spun around 24/7 already? See, Joy Reid is dangerous, so is MSNBC, because they pretend that all was fine. Sun was shining, birds were chirping, frogs were frogging, crickets were cricketing. Kids are going on the school bus, getting off the school bus. Everything was beautiful. It's a nice sunny day. And then Trump came. Thunder, hailstorm, tornado, animals, dogs and cats flying through the air. Babies crying. The sound of a man screaming, help! Women shrieking. Trump is here. Da, 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 da. It's dangerous. First of all, it's not even true. It's not even remotely true. Okay? As a black American who has done extensive studies on this, black Americans own 2% of the wealth in this country. We own 2% before Trump came, and we own 2% now. We've been owning about 2% of the wealth in this country since 1874. So if you give a damn about black people, you would stop talking about Trump and start talking about the shit that has made us only own 2% of the wealth. And if you, you would be focusing on that. You would focus on the reason why my life expectancy is 10 years less than a white guy. Yeah, white men outlive black men by about 10 years on average. Okay? Look at Biden, alive and well. Prince dead. Okay? And I know that's not a good obvious, correlation. I'm just saying. Prince was great. It's amazing. Biden, not so much. Yuck. The point is this, guys. They're not focused on the things that actually matter to us. What matters to you? White guy, white guys. Look, okay, I want to say this for the white guys, right? And I know it disproportionately impacts black people too, but I want to say this. America has been sacrificing young, poor, white kids to our military forever. Over bogus wars. If Joy Reid, The View, all of them gave a damn about white kids, they would be talking about it. But they don't use their platforms to show their disgust about our military-industrial complex. They don't use their platforms to talk about these poor kids who can't afford school brighter dreams or whatever, they just go into the military because it's so abysmal. It's so gloomy. They look around their little shit towns and they go, yuck, what am I going to be if I stay here? Nothing. I got to get the hell out of here. And they go into armed services and end up in Fallujah. Because that's what America does. And America likes keeping that going and going and going and going. And no one wants to talk about it. So when they're talking, when America puts all this focus on Donald Trump, his small hands, his orange spray tan, how evil that is for some reason, they are not talking about all these things I'm pointing out. They're not talking about human trafficking. When was the last time, Whoopi, do you realize how many black girls are disappearing every month in America? Where's Whoopi's disdain? She doesn't have a lick of disdain, anger, frustration, evil, labeling evil those people. But she's going to keep talking about a guy there's pictures of him and Ted Danson from the 80s. They was cool. Al Sharpton wants to talk about the evil Trump and Trump, and Trump this and Trump that. Yeah, it wasn't bad when you were hanging out with him in the 90s and the 80s. You didn't, I seen pictures, you was like this. Your face wasn't like, hell, he's racist. He's a Klan member, get me away from him. You was like, hey. So what we got to do is stop falling for the okie doke. This is not in defense of Trump. This is in the defense of reality. This is in defense of what they're doing. And we got people that can't see through it. They are blinded. You have been blinded, systematically blinded over you know how much money has been made and spent in order to make you think goofy stuff, to blame one guy for the condition of a country that is virtually unchanged to how it was before that guy ever stepped in front of a political podium. Some people get it. And I disagree with Bill Maher a lot on many things. But Bill Maher, he put this on X. It's a recording from one of his shows he did last night. He did this last night. Oh, excuse me, guys. He did this last night. It's a live event. He said, I want people to know where I stand. For the record, this is me opening my show last night. I don't know where he was, but here goes the clip.
Unequivocally denounced. I don't care what you think about that. Fucking horrible. Not funny. I'm sure there will be jokes that people will make because they hate him so much about they wish to went the other way. Not for me. Not for me. Not funny in any dimension. And whoever did this, whoever was the shooter, has done so much damage to the left. Lost a lot of moral high ground. And you're the violent people. You know, liberals don't shoot people. Liberals don't solve it that way. Or even suggest. And when I say moral high ground, I just read this on my show last night, the 2025 project, that is the sort of the plank of the Republican Party, which starts our convention tomorrow in Milwaukee. I will be there, you know, the strip clubs, and see who's there. But the guy who wrote that, he said, this is our new plank. He said, this is the new revolution for America, which I've heard 1,000 times from Gingrich on forward. Everybody has a new revolution for America. But they don't always say what this guy said, which he added, it'll be bloodless as long as the liberals let it happen. Okay, that's not cool either. This shit has got to stop because none of this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. You know, I agree that anybody on any side of this issue of whatever, any moron that's going, this will be bloodless as long as liberals don't get in the way. Like, shut up. Shut your corny ass up. You know, we don't got time for that type of talk, man. Always some old bastard that's detached from the actual people that are going to be doing any of the fighting wants to talk the most about the fighting. You shut up. Old men always talking tough, don't they? But they ain't going to be the ones fighting. But I appreciate him saying, Bill Maher saying, he ain't gonna be making no jokes about how funny this is and how they should have done this or done that and finished, horrible stuff that people say in order to try to be funny, to be volatile or whatever. Yeah. So I think it's obvious, guys. People gotta start waking up to the media. Just start waking up to the media. Start waking up to what they do. Most of you probably already are. Most of you probably already get it. You get your news at other sources. That's what you do. And that's why we notice a number of these people leaving and becoming independent media people now. So, and they're still talking the same nonsense they talked when they were corporate media. They are by heart, they are bound ideologically to that same garbage. They are still status quo elitist. That's what they on. They don't do content about any of the stuff I just talked about. Nor do they make commentary that says the things that I'm saying. Are they talking about what's going on in Americans? The number one cause of bankruptcy is people getting sick. It's not them being at the strip club. It's not them buying bouncing cars, buying rims and gold chains. It's getting sick as a human being. That's the number one cause of bankruptcy. And no one talks about it. Corporate media wants to talk about Trump, the coverage of Trump. And guys, what I'm saying is this is a real problem. This problem has been going on for almost a decade now. It's not, you got to understand, they use the same way BLM used black people getting shot to build up their coffers to make money. The media uses Trump the same way. You see it. You see what BLM did and you go, that was wrong. They raised all that money. You should have saw what the networks racked did. Goofy. You blaming them because they're easy targets, right? Same way I'm putting out the View and Joy and Reid and MSNBC, you can point out the women of the BLM movement. But always remember, who really got the money? The Democratic Party got the money. Who really got the money? The corporate media networks were making money off of it. They will take anything, use the thing to boost the profits. If you are part of the thing, you're like, wow, I'm getting a lot of attention. Look at this. Wow, what can I do with this? That's where Trump found himself. You understand what happened with BLM? Understand what they're doing with Trump. Same thing. And when they went to burn down Trump, as the media went to burn down BLM, you don't even hear people. You know, last time you heard someone say, Black Lives Matter. When's the last time you heard that? It's been a couple years now, right? Nothing to see here, Johnson. All done. They rode that horse as long as they could ride it. And if you think these three LGBTQ women, or the two LGBTQ women, mastermind this great thing, you really think that? And I know we got goofies like Candace Owens and the sheriff, whatever, the professor goofy. I understand we got this. These doofy people who want you to believe that these two women masterminded this great plan. It doesn't even make sense. They did not promote themselves, Goofy. They did not make themselves household names. You really think two women no one knew with no power were able to do that? You don't become Beyonce on your own. Okay? It takes what? What does it take? Now, I know Master P sold records out his trunk. I know he sold records out his trunk. Kendrick Lamar been doing music for 15 years, Johnson. You people are just now like, Kendrick's the best. Like, he's been the best for 15 years. My point is this, man. We got to look beyond the shadow, beyond the superficial, beyond the first layer. Look beyond it. And then also have the ability to start seeing patterns. Start seeing the pattern. Look, Rihanna didn't become Rihanna by herself. We know Diddy didn't get to become Diddy just on the strength of Diddy, right? right? Not saying they're not responsible, but people are blaming Trump for stuff that's totally out of Trump's control. Like one person could do that. Now, Elon Musk could do a lot of stuff. He is like one of the richest people, if not the most rich person in the world. Or at least in America. I don't know in the world. I don't know. Him and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, they could do some things on their own, but not Trump. And not the BLM girls. Women. Sorry, the BLM women. Okay? But if you wanna just stop thinking there, because to let your brain go further, you gotta go into uncharted territory. Now you're in a place where you're not comfortable because you can't even fathom what you're thinking about. Like you're now in a place where it's like, oh my God, now this is scary because now you're realizing the actual ramifications of what's being said. Because it's nice and easy when you can just blame the guy right there. Nothing to see here. We'll just say Lee Harvey Oswald, and we'll just take everything else out the equation. We won't even think further, okay? That's where the morons stop. If you stop there, you're a moron. If you stop there, you're a sheep. If you stop there, you're lazy. Because you live in a time where the information's like everywhere, Johnson. There's information everywhere. You ain't got to go far to access it. Right now, you're using a computer in your hand to watch this live stream that is like 100 times more powerful than computers were in the 1980s. Right there in your hand, you got the processing speed and power of that device that you're using to watch this live stream is 100 times more powerful than the computers we had in the 80s, in the 90s. You understand that? And what do you use it? To look at BBL butts on Instagram and TikTok, to learn TikTok dances. So we got to take some responsibility here. I'm not knocking. Well, BBLs are kind of nasty, but I'm not knocking butts. I'm just saying. That didn't sound right. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is we got to look further than just the obvious. They put the obvious there to give you these stupid, to fool you. There are people behind the scenes making the real money and pulling the puppet strings. So when we had these discussions about what happened to Trump, if we don't look beyond it, if we're going to just fight about who don't like Trump and who like Trump, we are missing the point, and we're just continuing the cycle. And I cannot pretend that that's the length of my brain power. Like I can't, as lucrative as it is, as lucrative as it would be financially speaking, I will not dumb down my content to the point where it becomes that. Let the other people do that. Let them do that. I could call out The View for being atrocious. They have responsibilities. They have a responsibility. So does Joy Reid, and so does MSNBC. But we ain't gonna stop there. We're gonna also look at MSNBC. We're gonna look at ABC. And we're gonna see how these dots start connected. Because there's more going on here, Johnson. There is more going on here that's against us. You can throw a rock and hit something that's important that should be discussed. And they ain't been discussing it. They haven't been touching it with a 10-foot pole. But they kept talking about this Trump guy. They kept saying how he's evil. He's the devil. He's Hitler. They say, oh, he put kids in cages. Then turns out the pictures they were saying he put kids in cages were pictures under Obama's reign. And then people got quiet. And no one went and heckled Obama. No one said, hey, we just found those pictures of how you did those kids back when you were in office. Nobody did that. They just said, oh, our bad. They didn't even say our bad. It just went away. Yeah. You don't find a problem with that? You don't think you thinking that this guy created this whole horrible system when it's been existing the whole time? Now they show it to you as when Trump's he's up there holding someone's been stealing the cookies. And then they don't take the picture till it's Trump about to buy the cookie. Like, you're like, hey, that's the guy been taking all the cookies. Nah, they've been taking cookies the whole time. It's been going on the whole time, Johnson. Before this guy even was there at the cookie store, There's other people been taking cookies too. And I'm not saying it's okay to take cookies, but I'm saying let's get them all for taking cookies. Let's catch the whole system. Let's get them all. Time and time again, they say, hey, man. Time and time again, they say we're crabs in a barrel. It's Bashir Jones, my brother Bashir Jones says, we need to start looking at why them crabs in that barrel in the first place. Who put the crabs in the barrel? Stop talking about we like crabs in the barrel, put each other down. Start talking about who built the barrel and how we get in the damn barrel to begin with. Let's have that conversation at least sometimes. So look, point to this broadcast will give you the updates about Thomas Matthew Crook, very white young man who did a very horrible thing. They say he was bullied. They say he was a loner. They say no criminal past. He had an AR-15 though, and he had explosives in his car in his house. Believe what you will. We have a deceased father and husband, girl dad, by the way, firefighter, who died, who lost his life protecting his family at that event. He should still be here. He should still be here. And those other two rally goers who were shot, who are fighting for their lives, I guess, they should not have been hurt. So there you go. And whatever you think about Donald Trump, whatever you think about him, realize you ain't never met the guy, so why do you think the things you think? And that's my point. We should be looking at the corporate media that is giving you the impression of what you believe. Okay? The corporate media paints us all a certain way. Oh, there's something I want to bring up I thought was interesting. Michael Harriot writes for The Root. He writes for The Root. And you may remember him from such fame as bringing down Pete Buttigieg a peg or two. Anyway, Michael Harriot, he put out a tweet. It's about a Forbes article that said, will Donald Trump's surviving gunfire bring him closer to the black community? It was something like that, right? It was something as if black people are the only people that get shot in the ass. Like black people are the only people that get shot at. White people get shot at a lot, Johnson. A whole lot. You know, yeah, it's a dumb article, but anything underdog related, there will be people that it resonates with. Anything. This is not about color and race. That's not what this is about. This is going to be about good guys and bad guys. You know, it's something bigger. This is not even good guys and bad guys. What I'm trying to say, this is going to be about what's seen as the system and how it pits itself. You know, and this is, I don't even know if I can fully articulate what this is, but this is definitely not black and white. Trump's still a white guy, and that was a white guy that shot at Trump. And if Black Americans or Latino or Asian or Native Americans, LGBTQ Americans, rich Americans, poor Americans, whatever Americans, whoever it is, non-Americans, because they watch it too. What's up, y'all? What's happening? How they see this, it's going to be as varied as the people that are watching it. But we all can relate to a story. We all can relate to a story of a former president being almost assassinated. And not. And they gave him this gift. Once again, I told you guys yesterday, Trump is the wrong guy. So you think you put him on the hot seat? I remember Obama laughing his ass off. He was at their correspondence dinner. And he was making fun of Trump. And he was laughing. And all the liberals were in there. All of corporate media was sitting there pointing at Trump, laughing. And, ha, ha, ha. And Obama was up there, yeah. Oh, look at Trump. Look at Trump's in the audience. This guy. You know, I've turned over my birth certificate. Now you should be okay. He can go back to doing his hard job of The Apprentice. Signing of Jerry Busey. Gary Busey should be kicked off the island. Whatever. Maybe you can find out who killed Tupac. They were doing us making fun of Trump. See, Trump's not the guy to do that to because he knows what to do with a camera even more so than Obama did. He took that camera and said, oh, you want to put, oh, funny, fun. Oh, we joking now, okay. And he took it and he spun it around, and Hillary Clinton was no match. I don't know how Biden won in 2020. I really don't. But this thing's over. My sincerest advice to the Democratic Party, start getting ready for 2028. Yeah, just go ahead, fast forward, jump in one of those pods. Like on the Elliott, people jumped in the pods, and then they went, for the trip, then they wake up as 5 years later. That's what the Democratic operatives need to do. Jump in your pod, right? And have it programmed to wake you up in 2027 because 2024 is over. This shit over, right? This is done. This is a forks in this. Okay? This is past well done. This is a black cookout hamburger right here in the hood. I don't want no pink on my hamburger. It's gonna be almost like a hockey puck. I know people like them, like, nah, man, I like myself well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not well, but medium. I like medium. Over well, super well done. But this, what I'm trying to tell you, this is well done, okay? This is beyond well done. This is burnt. This is the burnt ends. That's what you got right now because what's happening right here, this is over, Johnson. That's right. Nancy Pelosi, it's over. Your career's over and this is over. Biden, it's a wrap. Give Kamala the keys to the castle and walk away in the sunshine and take Jill with you. Take Jill with you. This thing is over, Johnson. What you guys think? Am I on to something here? Valid the Content Boutique. What's up, sister? Welcome back. I don't know what happened here. You're right. They will never change, Buck. These people will never change. And that's the thing. We have to force them to change. And we have to support independent media. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting what I do. This is not in defense of Trump. This is in defense of reason. This is in defense of reality. This is to try to pull some of the mosquitoes away from the electric zappy thing. I'm trying to pull some of the mosquitoes away from the zapper. You get zapped, Johnson. You dumb. No, Trump getting shot and surviving does not make him Tupac. I saw 50 Cent. 50 Cent did the Many Men joint for Many Men wish death upon me. I don't want to pay him money for this. 50 won $1. 50's hard on the dollar bill. But 50, now this is not about black people liking Trump more because he got shot. Now we're going to hear this. Now we're going to have Dr. Jason Johnson and Tiffany Cross and Tiffany Haddish and Angela Fry, Andrew Gillum and Van Lathan and what's the woman that does the football, the sports? Now she talks politics too. Jamil Hill and everybody want to talk about what does this mean for Black America? Trump got shot, he survived. They trying to turn him into Tupac. They trying to turn him into 50 Cent. It's just sad, man. Why is everything in America leads back to black somehow? Somehow it circles its way back to black. It's crazy. Nobody want to be black, but everybody want to be black. Don't want to leave blackness. Jesus Christ. All right, guys, that's all I got. My voice is leaving, and I got a show tonight. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back to do this. Anybody got anything? Comments? Anybody? Violet's been here. Thank you, Violet. Some kitties in the house. Sister Deb's in the house. Ginger Love's in the house. Charlotte's in the house. Sal says it's over. Megan says, I agree, Tim. Havana Blast says, Jill ain't gonna let that happen. I'm trying to tell you, Jill is the problem. She really is. Michael, I'm gonna leave it there, Michael. He says the cackles on the View wanted this to happen. It sure feels that way, don't it, Michael? Yeah. Okay, that's it, guys. Much love to you. I'll see you later soon. All right, be straight. And remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. This is the Tim Black Show. Go to jointimblack.com, become a member, and I'll see you 9:30. Let me get some rest, grab something to eat, and we'll be back at it. The work ain't hard. It's what we got to do. It's what time it is. Rise to the occasion. I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Thanks for watching.